Welcome to the Passionate Pundits, your opportunity to expand your knowledge of natural health and healing, a practical and priceless alternative to modern Western medicine. With your host, holistic chiropractor Dr. Juliadeer, and nutritional consultant and life coach Deb St.Hilaire.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, Dr. Julia.
We are hilarious. I'm just saying. I crack my own self up.
You know, that's why my last name is Hilaire.
I know it is. I know. And I always say that to you because I can't help myself.
It's like I never
punny.
heard it before. It's, oh, dear.
Right. It's, oh, Dr. Julia, you're such a dear. I love that. That's okay. If that's how you're going to remember me.
That's right.
I'm good.
That's
I'm
not
good.
how I remember you.
No? You don't remember that I'm a deer?
I remember you by Julia. I remember you're a deer.
Oh, okay.
A little tiny one.
Ooh, like Key West.
Yes.
Or the Zanzibar.
Also in
Zimbabwe.
In England.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, they're all over England. They're all over, yeah.
So there's not like one place. Like
No, they're
the
all
Sudan
over.
is where they
but
originated.
But it was really, really hot, so...
What we're talking about is Deb and I both did, she had a wonderful, wonderful lady here on Saturday to head up the Akashic Records class. And so we did an Akashic Records meditation together, and she had quite an interesting adventure. I did too, but I'm not going to get into it with mine.
It was fun. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Good.
I mean, because I've never... Like I said, I've never done that in person before, so it was kind of interesting just to see what would happen, because I had no expectations.
Right.
But yeah, I had a lot of interesting stuff come up, but like I said, I'm not getting into that because the details of that just would make me appear little ludicrous, so we're not going to go there. But
No.
if you want to talk about yours, you're welcome
No,
to.
that's okay. Fine. I'm fine.
If anybody is wondering what Akashic Records is, it is... okay, so there's archangels, and Archangel Metatron is the keeper of the book of life, and it's basically the records that our soul contract is written about. It's everything that happens in our soul's lifetimes. So throughout the course of history, past, present, and future. So it's very interesting stuff. And if you ever want to read up on it, I mean, there's a lot of information out there on the internet.
And we have a meditation once a month.
Yes.
On the second Saturday of every month.
And it is Miss Mariah
McLean.
Yeah.
She's really cool, isn't she?
She is super
I really
fabulous.
like
She is really cool.
is so smart.
She's one of those people that you can tell, like, how do I say this without it sounding bad? She's a lovely woman, first off.
Very well read.
Very well read. But when she talks to you, it's almost as if she's humored because she has a certain knowing. And it's like she already knows what you're telling her. You ever tell somebody a story and they're like,
yeah, that's
that's how she is. Like, she'll just be like,
I never
like
thought
she
of that.
knows
Yes.
already. So it's kind of neat
That's
talking
funny.
to her.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I meant by not in a bad way, like, I don't mean she's condescending.
No.
She's not condescending at all. She just
like
she already
I
knows.
get you.
Yeah, she's
get
like,
you.
I get it. I've been there.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, which is cool. Because when you do these things, it's kind of nice to know you're not crazy and you're not alone, and the things you see and the things you experience are universal truths that everybody experiences when they go into these different alpha waves, delta waves, theta waves. Oh, that was the best segue ever, actually, because my topic this week is sleep.
Oh, excellent.
So, absolutely, alpha, delta, theta waves. That's where we get to when we're sleeping. That's where we get to when we meditate. That's where we get to when we dream. It is the access point to our human mind, our subconscious, all of those things. So, sleep is very, 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 very important to people. And so that's what my topic
I love
is
it.
about today, is sleep.
For a minute, I thought you were going to recite the Greek alphabet.
I don't think I
Alpha,
could.
beta, theta, gamma, delta, epsilon.
Are you just remembering fraternities now?
Yeah.
My sorority was Sigma Phi Chi.
Mine was Chi Omega.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, Sigma Chi Phi was at Palmer University out in Iowa. And
I could do a cheer to that. Sigma Chi Phi.
Except you had it backwards, but yeah.
Chi Sigma Phi.
You're just... You're doing that on purpose.
No, actually, I'm not.
I'm teasing. All right, so let me tell you real quickly just about that. I don't know why I feel like I have to tell you everything about me, but I always feel like I have to tell you everything about me. So I was like in my 30s when I went to graduate school. I was young 30s, and I just had another baby, and I got in my head that I needed something, some like experience with school, with graduate school. Like I had always gone to school for years, but I'd never been part of a sorority. I'd never lived in dorms. I never had that college experience, you know. And here I am in my 30s, and I'm thinking, yeah, I think I want to do something like that. Which it wasn't like the whole like, oh, I just want to party and lay up drunk and like, you know, hoot and holler and I don't know, whatever you see in the movies. Like it wasn't like that.
Animal House.
No, it wasn't like Animal House I was wanting. I just wanted to know what sorority meant.
Like that sisterhood, that camaraderie.
Like camaraderie. Like I'd never had that before. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to totally try to experience this. So I went ahead and I participated. I joined in and I quickly realized that I was, you know, past my prime as far as like the whole like energy of the group. And I'm like, you know, and I'm wondering when we're going to get out because my baby's at home and needs fed. And, you know, they're just wondering how late they can stay up tonight because they got class in the morning. We weren't on the same wavelength at all, but it was fun and I tried. And that's all. Like I give credit to myself for trying because I was like, this is really out of my comfort zone. Not a real jump out there and participate in a group thing type of person. Which is funny because today people would be like, oh, you're totally, you know, like you're always trying to, you know, I don't know, get people together and do group things. And yeah, but a sorority's a little different, you know, like they kind of expect you to live that stuff. And I'm like, well, I can live that when I'm not living motherhood, when I'm not living wifehood, and when I'm not living studenthood, and when I'm not living employeehood, and when I'm doing, you know, then I might be able to live that. But I couldn't bring myself to live that. So I don't know. That was just kind of fun for me. I just wanted to share that was one of those times when I feel like, oh, that was a great idea, and then God steered me back, and He's like, yeah, not so much for you. But you would have always wondered had you not done it. That's exactly true. I would have always wondered, and I met some wonderful people. Like, don't get me wrong. There were some wonderful people, and even though I don't really keep in contact with them now, it was good at the time. A support system at the time for getting through and doing that. Wonderful people. So just the young ones, I just felt like there was a real gap. Yeah. You know, as far as socially speaking, because they wanted you to do social stuff. Like they had stuff where you go and you do charitable stuff. Right. Which I did a lot of. Pledge class, everybody has to do certain things. Yeah, and I loved that. We went and we helped domestic abuse center, and we went and we did all kinds of stuff. We did all kinds of work, and I loved that. But then they wanted to go like do pottery together and paint. And I just wasn't, like, I didn't have time. Right. You know, nowadays when you have your classes, if I have time, I like to make it over for your classes. But back then I was just like, you know, my husband's been home with the kids for 12 hours. I got to get home, you know, before somebody kills somebody. But no, it's all good though. But I'm glad I had that experience. It was nice. Let's see. I have a couple people talking to me. So I bet you didn't sleep very much then. No. And as a matter of fact, thank you for bringing me back to my topic right then, because that is a very good thing to start with. I had a really hard time when I was in graduate school with sleep. Mostly because I had a baby in the middle of it. And My first child, he pretty much slept through the night right away. He was kind of easy. My second one, he was fitful. Every moment he was awake, but then he would sleep. He would at least sleep. And then my baby came, and my baby boy, Rans, he was not a sleeper. I mean, he would wake up screaming at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., and he would scream nonstop for like 2 or 3 hours. And there was no consoling him. It wasn't, we gave him food, we changed his diaper, we patted him and loved him and sang him songs and read and, tried anything and everything to soothe him and calm him down. And he just had what we later, I later referred to, which I didn't know anything about back then, but it was night terrors is what,
really?
what happens. Yeah, babies get this adrenaline rush at night, and it's called night terrors. And what it does is it gives them this big rush of adrenaline if they wake up and they're scared, like if they don't know where they're at, if it's dark, if they don't know, that's why a lot of people end up putting babies in bed with them, because they don't sleep well by themselves, but it's because they have this anxiety, let's call it. It's like they wake up and they don't know what's going on. They don't know where they're at, and they're like, oh,
I
and
have
they get
that.
scared. Yeah,
Like
I can see that. No, tell me what you meant.
I just wanted to climb in bed with my mommy. Both my kids slept with me, actually.
Yeah.
When I am somewhere in a hotel
if you don't know
or
where you're
something.
at,
Yeah, it used to happen when I used to go down to my mom's all the time. Mm-hmm. And she moved the bedrooms around, so I wasn't like in my old room. Mm-hmm. And I'd wake up and I would have no idea where I was.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
It's like really scary at
and
first.
You panic for a second.
You
right.
do, and that's what the infants do. They panic, and they get this mad rush of adrenaline to them, and then they get the fight or flight, and then they can't relax. They can't calm themselves back down. There's no calming them down. So you kind of just have to let them cry it out, which is very, very difficult.
It is.
It's very hard to sit there and listen to your baby crying and knowing, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's no consoling. So I would just lay there with them, and I would just kind of cry with them sometimes.
Right.
So I didn't have a lot of sleep, and our whole routine was that Patrick stays up late. He's always stayed up late, but he sleeps in. And me, I'm the opposite. I'm tired early. I'm worn out, so I go to bed early, and then I get up early. And so we kind of had this pattern going where we would, I would put the babies to bed, before I went to bed. No, wait, let me take that back. That's not how it went. I would go to bed, and then Patrick would put the babies to bed around midnight, like 11 o'clock midnight, right before he was going to go to bed. And then the older boys, they went to bed earlier. But with Ramsey, he would put them to bed at like 11 o'clock or midnight. And then he would wake up at like 2 a.m., crying, screaming. So I would get up with him because I went to bed at 9 or 10. So I'd get up with him. So I might get 3-4 hours of sleep, maybe 5. And then I would wake up and I would have to sit there with a crying, screaming baby for 2-3 hours. And then, let's see, that'd put us at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I might lay down, get a nap, but usually I had to get in the shower and then get ready for school. So really, that was my schedule for a long time. And so it really took a toll on me. I mean, I was kind of walking around zombie-ish. I felt zombified. I was like months, like 7-8 months, I was not getting a full night's rest. And don't get me wrong, Patrick did his part because Patrick was with them 24/7. So, it's not like, oh, well, you should have made him get that. Well, he's with them all day.
Right.
Like, this is really the only time that he has is his sleep time. So, but I would get up and I would go to school, and I was just like walking around like an idiot, like making stupid mistakes, and my brain wasn't working, and my body was just suffering, and everything.
So you decided to join a sorority.
So I thought, well, this will be an excuse, right? Get me away from it. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, I don't know. It was a bad situation. Like, I don't even know how I got through it, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know how I passed tests at that point. I mean, I literally would memorize something and within minutes it was gone. So I don't even know how I got through that